Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Today I'm hanging out with Lou. Lou has a really cool DIY campervan conversion he built out himself, and he's going to give us a full tour today. So join us. Hey, my name is Lou, and this is my RAM Promaster 2500 159 non-extended high top. Bought it last year with the intention to go and explore New York and New Jersey. And come on inside, let's take a look. So this is the van. Right up here, you can see we've got the galley area. We've got a full shower and toilet. Underneath here is going to be our refrigerator. We've got storage, lots of storage up above. Right now it's configured as a dinette. The table goes down, the cushions go in, and makes for a 5-foot by 6-foot sleeping area. So right over here, we've got just an Apicool fridge. Opens up. Made the container for a couple of reasons, just to hold it in place and make it a little bit more attractive than the gray would be. We put it here because it blocks the doorway, so as you're walking in, underneath here is a shower pan, and this keeps you from tripping over the shower pan, and it just sort of saves you from falling flat on your face. So right down here we've got the shower pan and the toilet. So when you're ready to take a shower, all you have to do is open up the drawbridge, open up the door, and this turns up. And as you can see, we've got a composting toilet here with a shower pan that's 4 foot by 2 foot. We've got the toilet that goes in and out, and the whole reason for this is I had to put the drain back here, and every now and then you get twigs and sticks and whatnot back there, and you want to be able to clear that out so the water drains. So for the shower, it's just regular household components, but the one thing which I found to complete this, and it's kind of strange, I found this at Aldi's, is just it's a normal household sprayer that you would find in a kitchen sink. This worked the best as far as the stopper goes, a valve for turning it on and off, and also for the spraying. Over here, we've got the curtains. So we've got 2 sets of curtains going on. One is a privacy curtain for blocking out when you're sleeping. The other one is a shower curtain, which, as you can see, goes all the way around, and kind of have a thing for Bigfoot, as you can see here. And it goes on back. And securing this back here, can't really see it, but it's just a piece of Velcro. It holds it in place while you're driving. You obviously don't want that fluttering around. Right above here, we've got the air conditioner. So if you're like me and you've watched all these van build videos, everybody puts things in a different spot, and oftentimes you see the air conditioner right above where the bed's at. I didn't want to do that because when you're using the air conditioner, you have condensation going on. And so the last thing you want to have happen when you're sleeping is to have it drip on you. So I put it up forward. The van's only 72 square feet, and with the vent up here, that'll blow all the air back on you that you could ever possibly want. So right up here, we've got the galley area. We've got your regular stove. There's a Dometic. I really like this thing just because it's flat and doesn't have a cover on it. Sink, regular kitchen faucet. You've got filtered water over here, soap dispenser. And then up above here, you've got the cabinets. And I did it this way because you can slide the plates in and out. And that way you don't have to have the vertical space to hold them, and everything stays secure. So it's not the most attractive. It doesn't have the door, but it's easy to grab. Back here, we've got a window, and you can go ahead and open it. You've got screens on there, keep the bugs out. Went with these blinds that I got from Rec Pro. They slide up and down, they stay where they're at. The only thing you have to do is make sure that they're up while you're driving, otherwise you've got a really bad blind spot. So as you can see back here, we've got lights. It's basically just an LED strip that I've got going on back here, and then also along the back here. I put a little bit of thought into the lighting. I didn't want it to be overly complicated, but you've got the puck lights up above, the strip lights once again back here. The strip lights give you a nice ambiance. so the puck lights kind of, you know, sort of blast you with light down from up above. This gives you a nice gentle feel when you're ready to relax. Over here, basically I've just got some faux stone that I got from Home Depot. Up above here, got the medicine cabinet, and you get to see all my toothpaste and whatnot. And I put the mirror in just because obviously when you're using the sink, you want to have a place to be able to see yourself, make sure, you know, I don't have that much hair, but you know, if you had hair. Down below here, you've got a couple different things going on. We keep our trash. We've got a 7-gallon freshwater tank here. This has turned out to be really nice. I didn't plan this. So I ended up with this space and just also ended up, I had this tank from before and I put it in there. I thought, well, that'll fit. And it turned out really nice because it's the easiest way to fill up when you're at a state park. You can take this out, take it to the water spigot, put it back in, and you're good to go. Other things that I've got going on, I've got a water pump over here against the wall. It's got a Fugati propane hot water heater. It's an instant hot water heater. Got the filter for the filtered water. When I was originally building this, I wanted this to be empty and clear, and sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you're planning. Going aft from here, inside of here, you've got camping equipment, but the other thing that you've got back here is the propane tank, and that is vented out the bottom. So if there is any sort of leak, propane is heavier than air, and you want that to go out of the van. Other thing that I've got in there is a propane detector, and you definitely want to have that just in case you do end up with a leak. You want to know before you have too much gas that gets to be an explosive concentrate. Up here you've got just a drawer that we keep our utensils in. Up here, over here you've got a whole nother set of drawers. So main thing when you're camping is you just want to have places that you can put stuff. You know, we've got junk, we've got towels, pots and pans, and more utility stuff, you know, the hose for filling it. Have an additional filter in here as well that you hook onto the hose when you're filling, because you don't know what the quality of water is wherever you're at. You want to be careful with that. So back here we've got the electronics setup. So up on top you've got the charge controller remote for the solar panels. This switch right here I'll go into in just a little bit. This is the controller for the hot water heater. You've got the Webasto controller. These, I was kind of, I didn't want to put these in at first. These are the controls for the light switches. And to turn them on, you just press them, you just touch them. And I didn't think I would like them because they're not very tactile. You know, when you're coming in from outside, you want to be able to touch something and know that the light's going to turn on. But I find that I've been able to find them every time. And the other thing that's nice with these is you can hold them and it makes them bright, and then you hold them again and it dims it down. So then going aft from there, we've got more storage up above. So up here, start out with the microwave. I put that up here basically because it's close to the galley area. One thing which I learned afterwards, I had already put the electricity in for this. I put it in on the wrong side. So if I'm opening up the microwave, I didn't think that through ahead. I should have put it over on here. Then going aft, we've got just more storage. All of these have hydraulic lifts, and they also have the slam latches. Love these slam latches. If you'll notice on the drawers down here, we've got these push button latches, and half the time you forget about those. And so you're about 5 miles down the road and you're trying to park someplace to close the drawers. These are nice because you close them and they're shut. And then once again over here, we've got more. So when I built this, I wanted to make these plenty deep so that you had enough space to put all of your clothes. I usually put the food up here. And just so that there would always be plenty of space in here. One other thing, so when I was building this, the main thing that was going through my mind, and it's almost a prerequisite if you're building a van, is to make things as sturdy as possible. This is all made out of 1/2-inch maple veneered plywood, and it's bolted in. So I used plus nuts into the frame of the van, and these are all bolted in so that, you know, I don't think I'll ever be holding onto these and swinging around, but if somebody else bought this and had like a 6-year-old kid, it's not going to fall down on top of them. I mean, these are sturdy. And obviously, if you're building your own van, you want to make sure that you're doing that. So up above here, we've got the 4-way stretch carpeting. And I chose to do that. Let me backtrack. You see a lot of other vans and they use wood up here. And it looks beautiful and it makes me jealous. I didn't go for that though, just because this is better acoustic properties, so it doesn't reflect the noise as much. It also has thermal properties that are better. The things that I'm a little bit worried about as time goes on, you know, obviously I'm cooking here in the van, and as you've got smoke and grease, I'm a little bit afraid that that's going to get trapped up there. But I've used that a lot, used the van a lot throughout the summer, and we haven't had a problem with that. So if you go ahead and look up here, in the center of the van, we've got the Max fan. So, and these are really nice if you're new to building vans, because you can open it up and you can leave it open in the rain. So you don't have to worry about the rain coming in. I just went with the simplest model that they had. So there is no reversing on it. It just exhausts. It has 4 different speeds. Once again, I thought about the placement as I put it in here. I put it forward, and the reason for that is twofold. Number one, it's above where the stove is at. Number two, with the windows open in the back and the fan blowing, you get a cross breeze. And so if you have the Max fan, you have to have air coming in from someplace, otherwise it just doesn't work. So going aft, we've got the dinette. So I think just about everybody that builds a van goes and splurges on one thing or other, and I splurged on the wood, and I went ahead and used real walnut. And first time that I've ever joined wood together, this is maple on the inside. And you can see that I did the same wood going on up here for the cabinet doors. First time that I ever did that, I've got one crack going on, so it went a little bit above my abilities, but it still held up okay. The one thing which I really like, which you don't see that often in the vans, is the stand that I found. And this is just your standard RV stand. And you see these a lot in Winnebagos. Basically, to put the table down, you just pull the knob and you press down. So things that I've learned from doing this is I should have shaped the table a little bit differently. So right now, if I had just put in a 45-degree cut here, it would have been so much easier to get it in and out of the benches. Since it's the expensive walnut, I don't want to cut it. So it is what it is now. Down underneath it, you'll see that I've raised this up by about 4 inches. And the whole reason why I did that is just for the table and the height. When the table is up, if I didn't have it raised up, it would be hitting my knees. And I work remotely when I'm on, when I've gone on vacations, and so it has to be comfortable. The other thing which turned out to be fortuitous for this is the Webasto is in the bench underneath here, and I have it blowing out through these 4 holes. And that's nice just because it disperses the heat from there. It warms up the floor. So the floor is just a factory floor. It's nothing special. It's not insulated. And you see a lot of people online talking about insulating their floors, and some of them actually put heating coils in there in the whole 9 yards. This does basically the same thing. So now I'm going to show you about putting it into the bed. We already saw how the table goes down. For us, normally we keep the bedding in the cabinet back here, and you've got more bedding in there. I've got the sheets and whatnot, which I'm not going to pull out right now. Basically, we just pull the bedding and the pillows out of the way, push the cushions around, and you've got a bed. Bed started out just as a mattress on Amazon. It's 5 foot by 6 foot. It was a queen size mattress. I cut it down just with a bread knife, and bought the cushions, or the cushion covers, from a place that I found online. Go ahead and take a look. I'm 5'11". I totally fit this way. I prefer to sleep with my arms outstretched. Obviously I can't do that. I'm in a van. So up here, got a Kodak, I forgot what model it is, but a Kodak Projector. and that projects over here. We've got speakers set up over here, and then we've got a screen. So at night, when you're ready to watch a movie, ready to chill out, just put the screen up. There's an amplifier up here that's hooked into the projector, and you're good to go. It's not the same quality as when you're at home. It's more like being in a drive-in movie theater, but it's fun. You know, it's camping. He's got more of the shades, all of the windows open. So these are the clamshell type windows. Basically you cut the hole and it clamps on. I like these better than the glue-on ones, which we have back here. Things that I still need to do, I need to get shades back here. Right now we use magnets and we hold up a towel just for privacy at night. But these go ahead and open up. Over here, what I ended up using for the wall surfaces was marine vinyl. And once again, in most vans you see people use shiplap or other sort of wood. I went with the marine vinyl just because humans are gross creatures. We have oils, we have dead skin, we have things of that nature. And you want to be able to wipe this, you know, and especially for camping, or one of the main reasons why, you know, I built the van was for cycling trips. You want to be able to wash this down and keep it sanitary. When you're reading, you've got reading lights, and these have two modes. You've got the white, the blue, and off. So while I'm back here, let me show you a little bit about the storage. So if you pull this up, push this up, we keep our folding chairs back in here, and that's it. So when I build a next van, one thing which I will do is I'm going to add a door back here. So right now, if the bed's made, and if it's in anything other than the dinette position, it's a pain in the butt to get in here. And so as you're building a van, well, when you're done, you're going to find all sorts of things you could have done better. And that's one of the things. And I still may do that to this one. Just cut a hole back here so I can slide these chairs in. On this side, though, we've got a whole other situation going on. So we've got the electrical system. Let me pull this out of the way. So this is the electrical cabinet, and we've got 4 80 amp hour lead acid batteries and 3,000 watt inverter. Back in the back here, you've got the charge controller for the solar, and the remote is right up there. All the way back here, we've got the shore power charger, also the fuse box, and for the 110 and the 12 volt. And one thing which I did, which I haven't seen on anybody else's, is I've used relays. So there's a switch right up over here that switches between, over here would be for shore power, and over here would be for the inverter. And that is connected to these 3 relay switches. One of the relay switches cuts off the power coming from the batteries going to the inverter. The other one is for 110, and that switches, this one will turn on the power from the inverter, and this one will turn on the power from the shore. Obviously you want to make sure that you don't have the shore power and the inverter power going together at the same time, because that would probably start a fire. I did it this way because obviously with the cushions and the bedding set up, you don't want to have to go in here. And that way you can just flip the switch over there and not worry about it. So other things which I've learned about electrical on this, is a lot of it comes down to placement. So for the 110, I only have 2 outlets. One is over here, and the other one is back over here by the sink and by the galley area. For 12 volts, we've got USB over here and a 12 volt outlet over here. This USB, the placement of it is great, but then we've got more USBs over here. And that was a huge mistake on my part. I thought I would be able to use them here, put the devices up here. I find when I'm sleeping, the devices go flying, the cords get wrapped up in my legs, and it's not usable. The other place where I'm going to move this to, well, actually I'll have to get a new one, is I'll put another USB charger back over here. And then we've got a device holder over here to hold the device while it's charging at night. So, I mean, it's kind of funny as you're building your van and as you start using it, things that you thought were a great idea sometimes turns out to be really not. So another one of the things where I thought it would be a good idea was swivel seats. So up here, the original idea for me was to have a table here and then the swivel seats turning around. And you see a lot of people that do that. Obviously, didn't end up with a table here, so that turned out to be a no-go. And then the other downside to the swivel seats is unless you get the lowered bases, you're really up too high. For the passenger, it's not that big of a deal. For the driver, it is. My knees kept on hitting the steering wheel. And you know, I'm not a big guy, but it was still, it was a little bit cramping. So let's go ahead and take a look outside. So first off, we've got the bug wall here, and as you can see, it just sticks right to the door. Love this thing. So you go ahead and close it, it just snaps shut, sometimes not all the way, but you just jiggle it a little bit, goes back in. Once again, you just whip it open and it sticks to the side. Over here on this side of the refrigerator, so the placement of the refrigerator has one additional feature for us. So using it out here, you can grab food and eat it outside. Normally we're in a state park someplace and we do most of the cooking at a table. We don't spend that much time inside. Another feature is a slide out table here. Use that to set things as we're putting stuff away and cleaning them up after dinner. So over here, I actually have two fire extinguishers. So this one's kind of neat. Basically, you take off the cap, you pull this thing out and you scratch it and point it at the fire. So it's really cool, but nobody knows what it is. So as Patrick was asking me about it earlier, you know, he thought it was a flare. And yeah, so right next to it, I put a standard kid fire extinguisher. That way, if I'm on fire, somebody can actually see that and put me out. So up here, one of the problems that I found with this van, and you see it a lot online, is the roof or the door leaks. So when it rains, the rain will come down, it will go inside and actually go in the cab. So up here, this is just a piece of angle aluminum, and underneath it here I've got butyl tape, screwed it into the frame, and this creates a drain channel. Costs like $15. There's all sorts of solutions for this, but this is the one that I found that works for me. So up here we've got the roof rack. This is just unistrut channel that electricians use. You can pick it up at Home Depot. These pieces I bought online. I think they were like $80. And then I had to weld some angle iron up here to hold them into place. So, other thing going on up here, you've got the solar panels. There's 300 watts of solar panels. That's more than enough for what we use it for. Going aft, you've got a cargo carrier. So this is the aft end of the van. Down here I put in a trailer hitch. I didn't put it on today, but I've got a bike rack. And instead of, you see most of the vans nowadays that have the garage in the back, and I wanted to have the dinette design, but I still wanted to bring the bike. The only downside with the bike rack is I don't feel fully secure. So if I'm going any place, I always bring the bike into the van up forward. So this is what the aft looks like. So back over here, you've got some socks. So you've got the fuse panel for the 12 volt and also the fuses for the 110 volt. One thing which I should have done as I built this, once again you learn a lot from doing it, is it should have been over about 3 inches. So as it is, in order to get to it, I have to take the door off. But the only thing I can say to that is if you're building a van, think it through. Up here, we've got a van top camera. So this works if you can see all the way through. It's just a digital display instead of using a regular backup mirror. And that works a lot better because you can't see anything out of the back of these when you're driving. So coming on over here, you've got the inlet for the shore power. You've got your standard RV shower kit that's inside of here. I don't have the key on me, otherwise I'd show you. This right here is going to be the exhaust for the Webasto. And this is a combination of water inlet and water outlet. So if I have the water pump going on the inside, it'll pressurize, and I can use a hose on the outside to wash something down. Otherwise, I can hook it into the camping water and go ahead and fill my tanks. Or if I have water at the campsite, it just goes ahead and I don't have to use the pump set. So right here is the Fogati hot water heater. It's an instantaneous heater. Works great, takes about a minute to kick in, which is the only thing I don't like about it. Let's go over on the other side and I'll show you the fresh and gray water tanks. So coming back down over here, get on down. We've got two tanks over here. This one here is the gray water tank, and after that is the freshwater tank. Just bought these online, made the brackets myself. They're held up in place by plus nuts along with a frame. This is a drain right here, and for when you're in a campsite, basically all you have to do is you pull out the hose, go to the RV dump station, put it in, and then the hose goes back in this pipe, and I don't have to deal with it. A little bit tricky, a little bit tight. The other thing, so you put it into the RV dump station, turn the valve, and it goes ahead and drains. That way you're not polluting the environment.
Lou, thank you very much for taking the time today to give us a tour of your awesome creation. Now, this was your first build out of an RV, but you had something prior. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the reason why you got an RV in the first place?
So, well, technically, this isn't the first RV. The first one was a Meerkat. It was a great little camper, loved it, super light, pulled behind the car super easily. And in 2019, we used the Meerkat to go from Canada to Mexico. And what would happen is I would ride my bike every day. I do a lot of cycling, and my partner would drive it. And it was all well and good up until San Francisco, and he drove it across the Golden Gate and it petrified him. And then the traffic of going through San Francisco, after that, he was a wreck as far as driving or pulling the Meerkat. So one of the goals with building this van was to have a cycling mobile. Basically, he would go and drive it and meet me at a campsite, and I'd be able to cycle all day. And so far we've done that a couple times. I've gone up to Poughkeepsie, and it worked out really good. Other than that, things that we've done with this is I've taken it back to Wisconsin. I've got family back there, and I've spent a week back there, and it was actually a blast. We've gone down to Shenandoah National Park. We've gone up to Green Mountain up in Vermont, and it's just been really fun exploring. And with COVID going on, this has been a nice way to travel. You pull up, you don't have to interact with people. You've got your own cooking, your own food. And we're not van lifers, and I'm not going to pretend to be, but weekend van lifers, I guess, is the best way to describe us. So I've had so much fun building this, though, and there's so many things that I learned. And coming in 2022, I'm going to go ahead and try to build one for sale. I want to take everything that I've learned with this, and there's like half a dozen things where I think I could improve. I mean, overall, the design I really, really like. Everything I use. There's a few things that I just want to add to it. And so if you want to go ahead and follow me, I'm on Facebook, and soon I'm getting the sort of hint from Patrick here that I should go onto Instagram, go into the millennial age. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and build a van next year and see if I can make a go of that.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time today to meet me here, to give us a tour of your creation. I will link to your Facebook, and if you have your Instagram set up by the time the video airs, I'd love to link to that as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to do on this next project? Do you have any ideas? Most of it, so there's two different things that I want to have happen with it. Number one, I want to rebuild this. I mean, I love the design of this, and without the mistakes. And number two, I just want to gain credibility. So I was at dinner the other night with some friends, and they asked me, well, why don't you just find customers first that want to have a van converted? And my response was, would you hire somebody that's converted one van? And so basically I just want more experience and go forward. Right now I'm a computer programmer. I have a great job. I have, wonderful boss. I don't think it's going to be the place that I'm going to retire at. And so hopefully I can branch off into something different.
And a lot of people that build vans, their project evolves along the way. And sometimes they complete the van, use it for a year or two, and then gut it, and then start a whole new build on the original chassis that they had. You're gonna keep this one, and then you're gonna build another one.
As I go forward, I want to keep this van, partly because we've just had so much fun in it. You know, it's, you know, almost a part of us. And the second reason is I just want to see what I did right and what I did wrong. I've found a few things that I really should have done better in this van, and I want to make sure the processes that I'm doing will last better, and will make a quality project.
Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I'd love it, and we'll see you soon.